I'm ready if you guys are.
Okay.
Always.
All right, let's do it. Yes, 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 let's do it, dear ones. Good morning. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening. Yes, yes, yes. Let us invite in our dear, dear family. Yes, yes, yes. I am Ra, and we greet you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator that we all are. Yes, together, indeed. Yes, yes, yes.
I am that I am. I am Saint Germain of Sovereign Domain. Welcome, everyone. Good morning to all those who are here and all those who will be here in the future. Welcome, for the future is now as well as your past. So we'll come together in these energies and we will bring this forth for everybody and all of their guides and all that is. And remember, you are all that is. So thank you. Yes. So Jonah, is there a topic today? Is there any direction that you wish to go? You have an ascended master, Saint Germain, along with Ra of the Great Ra Collective. Uh, please, let's begin.
Yes. So our first theme is audience participation and questions that they may have. So Claudia, if it's good, if you may have come with something you're curious about, I want to first turn to you.
You're muted, me dear one.
Okay. Maybe she will come in later on. Um, I had a question that I have been wondering about. I was wondering about last time too, is that if we want to, make the biggest impact we can for, the rest of the planet, all the other, humans and potentially other beings that are here, what are some of the advice and some of the directions and some of, the ways we can go, things we can do to have as to have as big an impact as we can? What's some of the advice that you might have, given what you can see in your more expanded view.
Yes, if it's okay, I can start. That's no problem.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So, this is a wonderful question because there's a lot of times where humans or people believe they have to do certain things in order for those things that they wish to happen to come to fruition. So, let's use an example of the planet having a hard time, and what can humans do? For example, you can do nothing. You do not have to do anything except be yourself. Uh, us in the Ascended Masters, and myself in particular, Saint Germain, really push and help humans understand that the transformation and the transmutation that actually happens within them is internally happening inside, and that permeates what happens on the outside. So your internalness becomes your outside. Therefore, what is on the outside actually is part of the illusion, including that which you see and that which you interact with. So if you're changing who you are within and integrating your masterful self, one of the ascended masters, any one of yourselves, and integrating that multidimensional part of you, you're going to bring in energies that are necessary now or are already there, that are going to bring in exactly what you need, and then therefore that brings everything else to everyone else as well. Does that make sense? There's nothing outside of you that you need to go out and achieve, go out and do, go out and make sure that the planet is safe, going out and solving everything and making sure that everyone is healed. Heal yourself, heal your body, allow yourself to bring in the life that you are, bring in the masterful self, bring in and allow your soul to light and shine to all that is.
And
Yes.
can you go a little bit more technically into how that works, just so I could internalize it on a deeper level?
Of course, there are actually many different ways to do this. Uh, we actually wish to hear from Ra on this, actually, because Ra has a very practical way to bring in life. And so we'll allow Ra to touch on this question, and then maybe we'll come in after that.
Yes, thank you for this honor. Dear Jonah, may you repeat your questioning, yes?
So I know what you said is true. All right, I know it to be true that if you fix the internal, you fix the external. But um, there still is that perspective that comes to mind that, there's all these other people out there, and if you go out and you're helping them, then you are helping the collective. So is there more information, maybe almost on like a scientific level, where if sometimes you get that in-depth explanation, it goes into more details, and then it connects, it sort of brings the information down on a level that the brain can really click into. Is there a perspective on that lines, maybe more informational, that you wish to get into?
Yes, dear one, are you the angle that you are coming from? Is it one of how do I practically be of the most impact to the world? Is this where you are coming from, dear one? Or is there something more specific?
That was the initial question. Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes, yes. So, as our dear brother Germain has said, first, yes, let us take a collective deep breath. Yes, yes. All together now. And relax. Yes. Release a bit. Yes. Yes, and we have come together more. And so, as our dear brother Germain has said, there is a way to live your life that is so big, let us say, that you see everything is actually within you, that everything you contain within you, within your body, as a fractal that it is of the universe and of Source itself. And so, yes, there is a path where you, let us say, a horizontal path where you go into the world, go out to the world, let us say, with the air quotes, and you build this business or this project and you build this. And yes, we say this is a part of it. It can absolutely be a great, wonderful part. And also, as dear Saint Germain has said, there is the path that is, let us say, more vertical, where you work more with your own personal body self, knowing and understanding that it is connected to all. For yes, all is one in truth. And so by you realigning your personal body habits, by you realigning your thoughts so that you notice when you are, yes, limiting yourself and limiting others through negative judgments, and you, oh, I did it again, and you laugh at yourself, yes, instead of judging yourself, and you release. This is the great work as well, and as you do this, you are ah sending these sort of ripples to the entire universal, multiversal sphere that you are playing in. And so this is indeed a great, great way. From our perspective, from the ascended master perspective, let us say, it is really not one or the other. It is both. It is all. So there are those in your world that have already developed a good rhythm with their body self. So what does this mean? What does this practically look like? They nourish their body vibrantly with vibrant foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, maybe some freshly squeezed juices here and there, and some, yes, at times some protein as well. And as well as they do the workouts, the exercise, yes, not necessarily in the pushing through failure way, but more of a I will do one more, yes, one more rep, yes, yes, in this sort of step by step way. And they also are pursuing their own personal soul, inner child's desires. This they do not neglect it or push it aside, thinking it is trivial, but they love their own body self, their own inner child, and say, Dear one within me, yes, dear ones within me, what would you like to experience today? Who would you like to experience it with? Yes, in this way. And so they already have this rhythm. And so for these individuals, it may be more aligned in their path to then now go a bit more horizontal, yes, in that they built themselves up so that now they see opportunities. They network, as it is said, they connect and collaborate in beautiful, passion, uplifting projects that not only are joyful for individual self, but also the collective self, yes? These opportunities come arise, and because they have built themselves up in a highly vibrant, yes, fully allowing way, they do not they do not shy away from these great opportunities. What a great opportunity this is. I will pursue. And they do this and they pursue and they spread out in the vertical as well. And on the other side of the coin, there are those that are so pursuing the service to others, yes, and they go and they do the community service and they help those and they do this, and so they are very horizontally spread out. And so for these individuals, it is very beneficial for them to begin to now on their path begin to, yes, realign more in the vertical, and that they become to come within more and then build themselves up more. Maybe for there is a we will say a way, there is a way about a way in your world where you feel service to other is about sacrifice. And yes, and I do not really need to worry about my own self, my own body self, because I am focusing on the others. And there is a great truth to this. And also, it is important to understand that your body self is also a part of all, yes? It is not separate from it. And so, as you serve others, you must also serve your own body self. And this is the holistic approach. And so, this is the practical. And in terms of what should I do? What should I do? Well, there are things that will light up in your fields, in your minds and fields, dear ones, when you ask the question to yourself and ponder, ah, what is good for me and for others? What is healthy? What are healthy habits? Yes, and thoughts will begin to pop into your mind. And then there is the other, what am I excited about? What hobby do I have, or which hobby do I wish to pursue that brings up a natural joy? Yes. And of course, we mean the joy that is holistic and not just an over excitement, just over caffeinated, over sugarated, yes, sort of excitement, but a more holistic joy. There are, as you go about your path, you'll encounter opportunities and people and ideas that will begin to build this sort of model, and puzzle pieces come together and interlink, and you will be able to see a bit more of the big picture. And so, yes, this is our perspective on this questioning at these times.
Wow.
Yes, that's a very lovely description of the differences between what it means to go and do for others versus doing for self. And that's very important for the reasons why people do things. This is simple physics. It's simple physics for the mind to understand that to go and do something is going to bring you back something. It's kind of a reverse way of bringing something back to yourself, going out there to hopefully hope it comes back to you. Well, that in a sense is, it's not wrong, but it is one way to do it, and it's one way to do it from the level of mind. When you're doing it from the level of your masterful self, the level that is all encompassing the oneness of who you are, you're actually doing it all from yourself, and from yourself uh, allows others to be known as yourself. And not only yourself, but, well, yes, just yourself, yourself and all that is, or the creator, or the one, or God. There's multiple ways to call the same thing. Now, we said physics, and what we really mean is metaphysics, and the beauty of consciousness and energy, and how consciousness is the God, is the it, consciousness doesn't know itself, so therefore you as energy, or the angels on earth, are creating the kingdom of heaven for yourselves on earth by understanding what energy is. And through your energetic movements, through your understanding of yourself, you're bringing in new physics along with new types of energy, as well as understanding what is old energy that is based in fear, is based in old ideas, that is no longer relevant anymore. And so when people on earth are so focused on making sure that the planet doesn't destroy itself, or making sure that nothing bad happens, these ways of using your energy to stop things from happening is actually you believing that they are happening. So if you're believing that they're happening, you're going to create them because you are great creators. And so the difference that you have to align to is that the creation that is already here is already okay. All is well in all of creation. So therefore, bring yourself back to your true identity within, while letting go of all those old ideas that were created in fear through the ancestry of your families, through all of the things that you've grown up with. And therefore, you are going to, in a sense, lose your mind. And we don't say this with out of fear. We're trying to say that your mind is a limitation. And so going back to your heart, or understanding that there's more to just what the mind is saying within, and connecting on a level of light and allowing your light to shine, the light that you shine is changing physics. And therefore, you do not need to do anything other than sit with yourself, align all of the things that bring you joy and the passion of life. And this, dear ones, is what will show the world and change the world. For each individual that changes and brings in their light is shining light to all the others. And it's not that you have to say things, you don't have to tell them to do things. You just watch and allow them to make their own choices, for they are also God. They are you, and they are all that is. And they have their own paths, just like Mother Earth has her own path. And so, therefore, there's nothing outside of you that you need to achieve, do, go, and be about. You just allow yourself to come into yourself, and that will naturally give back exactly what your values are within your true self. So, how does that feel with that answer?
That's pretty incredible. And I did feel something even clicking in on the left side of my head as we were saying that. And it's funny because I was thinking to ask you, again, for the minds that are hard to think about, like, we see all these things that are wrong, and but when you were saying that, and I was thinking to ask you that, and then when you were saying that it's, all people on their own path, it was already starting to click. Um, even as you're saying that, that's something I've had so much trouble internalizing because, it's one of those things I know to be true, but to really feel it and internalize it is so hard because we see all these things that, aren't perfect, and all the people who are struggling, and all the people who, have mental issues, anxiety issues, and that I've had too, and I see so many other people that continue to have those issues, and the larger issues in the world that, we don't want to belittle. It's yeah.
We understand the mind is created in a realm that is very physical in a very linear way, like cause and effect and duality. From the level of heart that we're speaking of, duality exists only in a certain physical realm. And so, therefore, the and of being source energy, you are going to align your physicalness to the alignment of source. And that is where duality seems to not, we don't want to say disappear. It's just that you become knowing in the experience that what you're seeing in front of you is a part of the illusion, and a part of an old idea of separation. There truly is no such thing as separation, and the mind is a created entity outside of yourself. It's not even within you. It's actually outside of you. There's a collective mind as well, where you're like, these things are ideas are just floating around, waiting for humans to go, I'm that energy. Bring that one in. Bring in that idea. I like that one. Their energy is what brings in their mind, brings in their ideas. So as more people are awakening to the light and noticing the physics of energy, quantum physics are a very good example of this, where a light particle or any particle, if you take two particles and you separate them in many, many distances, as far apart as it can go, they instantaneously are able to still communicate without any time lapse. And that is what we're talking about. You're connecting back to who you are. You're connecting back to those non time lapse and non linear views of duality. And so, in a practical sense, you just need to observe the duality and be with it, knowing that it is all that is. It is a part of you. It is your energy. The ideas that you're having about what the world looks like is a collective idea that was given to you by somebody else on the news or somebody else you've read, and so you took that on because you think that's right. But if you think it's right, then you're the one that is actually creating it. So if you can choose another view, another worldview, knowing that the world is absolutely fine, there's nothing that you need to even do to it. There's nothing you need to do to stop starvation. In fact, the starvation, all these things are going to be gone in the near future. This is the new Earth now. We're here. We're in this energy, and the more people that are awakening, it's not going to take that many. It's going to take less than 1,000, 1,000 maybe. Well, there's about 3,000 people right now that are really connected to, like, worldwide, bringing in their light, and they're not really doing anything other than sitting there shining their light. And so the more that come and do this, the more understanding comes to them, the more of your true self comes. And as your true self comes within you, you radiate that into this realm, into this physicalness. And we don't want to say that it dissolves all of that around you, yet energetically, you actually begin to understand the truth of energy, not the illusion that is created through the duality. And science is a very good example of this, because we can look at what gravity is, for example, where gravity is a Newtonian idea from the 15 is it the 1500s? This channel doesn't actually know, but many, 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 many years ago, gravity is pulled down into Earth. The ideas of physics now is that Newtonian physics are incomplete. And so the beauty of science is as duality is understood and as new things and new energy comes in, science changes, physics changes, the mind changes. All of these things will automatically change in time and in alignment to more people that are coming into alignment with themselves. Now, there's many ways that each individual person can do this, but there's no one way. Each person chooses their way to themselves because they only experience themselves. You do not experience another person. You experience yourself thinking about that other person. So it is never you seeing somebody else. It is you seeing an idea and a reflection of what you think that person is. And that usually isn't even right. Like for instance, this dear person, he goes to work. He has family, and he has you, friends. There are each one of you has a completely different view of this channeler. Just the same as you have a different idea of who I am, Saint Germain. Each You create that. You are understanding a certain aspect of yourself through observing that person. And therefore, you can use those things. Everything in creation is usable. All of your energy is usable, especially the stuff that is you think is separate from you. So this is quite a dive, a deep, a dive, diving deep. This is a deep dive into like the physical nature of who you are that brings out energies that are necessary for the planet to change. So it's
Yes, yes,
wonderful.
yes. Let us dive in the deep end with you, dear ones. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Ra.
dear ones, is the neutrality, yes, the great observer state where one is not adding, let us say, fuel to the fire by judging negatively more, but you are able to see, this is a process and it is unfolding. And so we are not saying to ignore what is going on in your world, dear one. We are saying to observe it with loving eyes, yes? And if you have not cultivated the ability yet to do so, then that is why we are encouraging you to, yes, come back within and cultivate this energy of love and light and life so that when you do engage with your other selves in this world, because you will, yes, this world is continuously more and more acceleratingly coming together. This is not the times anymore of going to the Himalayas and yes, on your own and meditating at the mountain top. Yes, you have already done that in past, future, present, parallel lifetimes. This lifetime is now the time to, yes, descend back down the mountain and integrate. Yes, integrate. And so we speak of yes, fill yourself up with love and light so that when you observe the seeming chaos that you dub as chaos in the world, you do not see it as negative, but you see it as, ah, unpredictable order, it may be said. This has been described by a dear, dear spiritual teacher of his known as Joe Dispenza, and he loves this phrase that he uses, which is chaos is really just unpredictable order, and we agree it is indeed the case. And we will say, as you cultivate more and more, cultivate more and more, then indeed your being is your doing, and your doing is your being, and you find opportunities that you actually want to do as opposed to force do, yes? And so you do it in a loving state, and you're doing it while you are rooted in this loving state. So you are, yes, it is not a necessarily stationary pillar that cannot be moved, or it is rather a, yes, very flexible and very, yes, mobile. Yes, you can take it all over the lands, dear ones. You do not need to just stay cooped up in your homes and houses. You can take it all over, all over. And so this is what we are encouraging, the cultivating of the more neutral state. Yes, the one where you step back if you when you find yourself a bit triggered and you catch yourself and you take those few deep breaths, you call in your higher guides and higher selves, you form a circle around you, or you become a part of the circle and you place the beautiful Gaia within it, that you rest here for a few moments. And so that when you open your eyes and you re-engage with this world, you are not doing so, yes, judgingly or stressfully or reactionarily. You are doing it very consciously and lovingly, and therefore the light emanates from you. Yes, yes, yes.
Lovely.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, that's lovely, Leo. Hmm.
May we ask, for we wish to hear from our dear one, Claudia. Yes, are you
Hmm.
there, dear one?
Yes.
Hi,
Yes.
Claudia.
Hi there.
Hello, hello. Do you have a questioning, dear one?
Um, no, I think it's all close for me. Thank you.
Very well. We are very grateful for your presence. Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Mm.
Hmm. There, there is beauty all around you. And to sit in this beauty is to know that you are the beautiful one. And it is not it is not the mind that is seeing the beauty. It is a knowingness. It is an experience, and that's going to be the difference between the humans that are leading with mind versus the ones that are experiencing their knowing. For consciousness is it is all it is all that is, and your I am presence is that connection to the consciousness in an energetic way. So you as a human are energetically experiencing the knowingness of source, the I am. And you do this by allowing. You do this by allowing it all of it. Anything that is coming to you, allow it. You don't there's a tendency in the mind and the tendency to in separation and within fear, because this is a taught thing from many of your lifetimes, going through the crusades, going through uh, people being burned at the stake, not being able to open up to your energies because you're afraid that you're going to be pushed down from somebody outside of you. There's no one out there to push you down anymore, dear ones. Each one of you can open up to your freedom, to know that you are a free sovereign being, and the freedom grants you existence in both worlds, in the world of men and humans and women, men, humans, that entire world, because it is source as well. So it's this and that. There is no or. It's a togetherness of integration of how Ra said, you as the master sitting at the top of the mountain are coming down to your human self in the valley, but you're not your human self doesn't need to go to the mountain, and it doesn't need to go down to the valley. You are the mountain and the valley. You are together in that essence of knowing your experience of who you are. And therefore, your mind is going to slow down. You're going to have less questions. You're not going to have things going through your mind like, uh, let's say you watch the news and something terrible happens. We're not saying that terrible things are not going to happen and you're not going to feel that terribleness of it, but you will sit with the terribleness in a way that is going to bring in peace for yourself. And we know this is very counterintuitive, and the mind doesn't really understand this. However, the peacefulness that you see is to understand the chaos that is around you is happening because you're bringing in the light. And therefore, each person that brings in their ideas of self, whether it's from the physicalness of their mind in their separate ideas and their ideas of fear versus the alignment of source and love and truth, those differences that you'll see, you'll notice them absolutely. However, you do not need to change them. There is no need to change anything outside of you or in you. It is allowing it to come through to you and allowing that peacefulness, allowing that understanding and knowing that all is well. There, there's going to be it's very tumultuous right now. This there's a lot happening because you as humans are understanding the alignment uh, is a much different way of living. And so, therefore, the imbalances are showing itself right now to create balance. And that's very much how magnetism works anyway. You put a north side and a south side, or a north and a north side of a magnet, you're going to repel it. It's going to push away from each other. But when you bring them together, they all of a sudden stick together and understand each other. They understand and flow with the full toroidal energy of magnetism. And so, therefore, your ideas of self no longer need to repel out things outside of yourself. You're going to bring them all in, and you're going to be and understand that, yeah, it's not you in a physical sense. You're not doing it. However, you are witnessing it, but you are also loving it for witnessing it. You sit in a knowingness of understanding that it's necessary for them to go through it, as opposed to you going through it. And we'll use the example again, talking back to the masters that are starting to light up the world. Imagine we have what, just under 9 billion people on this planet. Soon it's going to be close to 10 million in less than 10 years. We're going to see more people being born with the light, born into the consciousness that everyone here on Earth is starting to understand and kind of integrate with. And they're going to come here and be like, I don't understand why everybody's having such a hard time. Because they're going to come in born of the light. They're going to come in understanding things that you don't understand. And that's because of the work you're doing right now. So pat yourselves on the back. All these things that you're doing, it is not uh, everyone is doing wonderful because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you can just allow yourself to know that it's okay where you are, what you're doing, and you don't need to go out and solve the world's problems, the more people that align to the light are going to remove themselves from that ordered chaos. They're not removing themselves physically. They're there with it. They're there with you. I'm here with you. This channel saying that I'm here with you, but so are we, the ascended masters in Ra. We are there with you, and so the multi-dimensional integration of source, the ascended masters, the angelic realms, all the other ideas of self, the past, the future, all of this is coming to the magnetism of your alignment to yourself right now. And therefore, you are all of it. You experience it all.
I want to follow up quickly on that if I may. I know, Leo, I feel your energy too. I want to let you get it. Maybe you take this next one. But you've talked about connecting with, the higher self and also connecting with, the universe, the ascended masters, Ra, and everybody. It often feels like there's a gulf between, what feels like myself in these extreme limitations. So my mind, can only think one thing at a time or so much at a time. I have like such a limited perspective. I have such limited information. And I also have this little thought loop machine that keeps going on and on. So my attention is very confined. It's like 80% of my attention is on this thought loop that keeps going. The other 20% is on, sensations, if it's hot or cold, what's happening around. And it just feels like such a limited view. And there seems like this huge gulf, this huge separation between um, all the other wonderful things that you're talking about. And I yeah, I wonder about bridging that and if you have any insights on how how in general people should think about that and what are some of the ways that they might try to bridge what seems like a very big gap.
Mm. Well, when was the last time you just breathed? Breathe it all in. For the mind, yes, the mind creates these separations. The identity of your human self isn't in form, is technically that separation. And as you're going to integrate more of who you are, more or less of that separation. Actually, we'll go to how you're feeling internally first. That physicalness and that separate idea and that mind that you say is 80% thinking here and 20% over here, you're just using 100% of everything to think that. You're using 100% of yourself to create that separation, as opposed to using 100% of yourself to connect to multidimensionality. You're going to let go of the mind. You're going to let go of ideas that were created in time and created in order to allow your physical body and allow all of you on earth to go to a level of uh, a density or a frequency that is quite, it's low, and it's not, we're not saying that it's better to be higher, but it's lower in the realms of separateness and in fear, so that you can come back to your wholeness within. So the mind is going to do that. It's going to look for something to understand. And it does that by creating those thought loops, by creating things, thinking it needs to go out and do that in order for it to achieve something. Abundance, ideas, love, all of these things are not created in the mind. They're not a go out and do and I must achieve. It is the opposite. It is, there is nothing to achieve, for it is already within me. And so, what is within me means that I already understand exactly what I need to understand within this question. And if I create the question that I'm asking, that in itself is creating the separation. For it's a disbelief that you don't have the ability to connect to it. And then the allowing means to sit with that disbelief, sit with the fear, sit with that mind, and not push it away, because in creation there's nothing for you to push out of your mind. There's nothing for you to solve. It may feel like that, for that's the idea that was created in the church and in religion. God is over there and he's watching you and judging you outside of you. No, there actually is no God. There is no other. There just is consciousness, and you within that consciousness creating the energy of who you are. We can hear everyone screaming at us. What do you mean there is no God? Jesus. This dear one feels that. Like, even though the energy, we said it, that there is no other, because you are it. You are the God. The mind is not that, though. The mind the mind is a idea created from God, or from that source, in order to bring you into a level of frequency that is lower, so that you learn and understand things that you didn't understand before. We'll use the example of magnetism again, and along with gravity in your emotions. your emotions have gravity in physics. So as your emotional substance within you changes, as your knowingness changes, as your ideas and your mind moves away from pushing itself and forcing itself outwardly, you're going to allow that to come in. You're going to allow all of you to come into yourself. Therefore, the mind will slow down because all you're doing is allowing, you're breathing it in. Why don't we do that right now? Why don't we connect to this energy that I'm bringing through, Ra is bringing through? You are this energy. Bring it in. You're bringing. We're going to do a deep collective breath on allowing all of you to come in. You breathe in and breathe out. And your minds might say certain things and do its ideas, do what it was taught to do from the many lives you've had in the lower frequencies. Yet when you breathe in and breathe out, there's just consciousness. There's just that energy there, and you know it. And so allow more of yourself to come in. We can feel that Ra has something that they wish to say, and we would love to pass it on to our dear brothers and sisters of Ra.
Please.
Yes, thank you. Dear ones, yes, let us aid in the integration here. When one has doubt, when one has fears, what is this? What is this practically speaking? It is life that has piled up around or piled up within, and so it leads to a constriction of the flow of life. And so now you are like, I don't know what to do. What this sort of experience is the result of a lack of flow, let us say, or a lack of expression. And so when one feels doubt, really all you must do is realign your body system. And this is very practical, very, very practical. When one, let us give another example to solidify this. When one looks at the elderly, yes, many times what occurs? The posture, the body form begins to, yes, why? Because throughout their lifetime, they have not been really processing the energies as they go, and instead they have allowed it unknowingly to pile up, and pile in. And so now they cannot move their body. And so we as ascended masters, we as Ra, we do not say neglect your body, yes? We say enliven it, enliven it. Why? Because your body is your first line of expression, let us say, your first form of life in this reality that you are directly embodying. And so let us, when you see us, yes, through the cameras here, you will see us move this dear one's body together with him quite frequently. Why? Because he senses, as we sense, energies, many energies, and they are not necessarily negative. It is just life, it is love. But too much love can be too much, yes? There is such a concept and truth in this reality. Too much energy is too much. And so you must become sensitive to this flow through, yes, the meditation and through, yes, the exercise. This is not Yes, there is not a separation between being enlightened and exercising. We have those of us in ascended masters, many of us who have bodies, we have robust, strong bodies. Why? For if you wish to channel more love and light, your body must be robust and strong. It must be vibrant. And so if you are facing doubt, dear one, first and foremost, yes, you may relax and then, yes, and then begin to move a bit, yes. Or it may simply be you must really rest, yes, and take a nap, maybe. But if you are napping too much, then that is a sign that you must move a bit more, yes. You must move. Why? Because you need to move, you need to live with life. You need to move with life. If you just allow it, if you just, yes, meditating in stillness is a part of the equation, but it is a part. And so after you meditate in stillness and silence, this is a restful thing. Then you open your eyes and you re-engage with your personal physical life, which is again good. It is not a bad thing. The physicality is not a negative thing. The things that you deem as negative in the physical world are that way because of yes, a constriction, a stagnating of energy and life. So again, when you face the doubt, it is very practically important to move a bit, yes, stretch, go for a walk, go for a stroll, go for a hike, maybe do some push-ups and squats, yes. Hydrate your body. The liquids, the clean, clear, vibrant liquids such as clarified water or the freshly squeezed, yes, juices, these have a quality to them that is very nourishing, hydrating, and also, yes, they they lubricate the system so that the energy can flow without it becoming yes. And so it is very important, again, as we come back to the integration, to do these practical things. Yes, from a loving, joyful, peaceful state. Yes, there is a difference between doing the same thing, stressed out, forcing, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, as opposed to, I don't have to do this, but I want to do this because I see that there is a beautiful, vibrant quality and experience when I do it and after I do it. So I will do it. Yes. These are two different things. Yes. They are not the exact same experience. And so this is what we are nudging, at times pushing you towards. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mm. Yes, the physical body is your creation. It is you.
Indeed.
It is not separate from you. So be with it, as opposed to resisting it. Or yes, the we love this. What Ra has said. The first line of defense, the first energetic feelings in your body are your guide. When you feel that resistance, it is not like somebody else is out there putting a resistance into your body. That is you creating that energy of resistance in doubt, doubting yourself, doubting your abilities to go within. And these doubts aren't yours either. They were created through your past lives, through the mass collective energies that are currently on the planet. Um, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's time to move away from it and not move away from it. That's for your mind to understand, but to integrate it, to allow it, to understand that you can actually. We'll use physical pain in your body as an example. Your knees are starting to. Uh, this channel actually recently, we'll go here. This channel recently heard something about being debt free. And we as Ascended Masters truly want you to be debt free. And we don't just mean financially, we truly mean debt free of energies that are taking things away from you, debt free of relationships, debt free of emotions that bring the emotional debt to you, that bring things of pain. And we'll use financial debt as an example, shows up in the body. It shows up in the body in tight shoulders, in sore lower backs, or in bad knees. And do you know why that is? For you're carrying the energy of your finances within your body because you have an idea of how bad or how negative your finances is. Your debt is shown up energetically within your body because you're carrying it. So of course your shoulders, your back, and your knees are going to start to hurt when you're carrying all that energy all the time. This is we this channel says this is advanced stuff. It's not advanced stuff. It's that your mind thinks it's advanced stuff because it doesn't understand it. To be debt free emotionally is emotionally and financially and physically debt free from things you don't need to carry anymore is going to allow this to be easier for you. And yes, move your bodies. That first part of you is understanding why you are feeling certain resistances, why you feel like you're sore here in different areas. Disease is caused the same way. It's caused through energy. The resistance that humans feel that they create within themselves creates disease. So it's time to move on from these. There's no, you don't need to do, this is the lifetime where you don't have to have disease anymore. You don't have to have these resistances. You don't have to have these doubts. And I hear some of you saying, well, how can I do that? Well, when you ask that question, ask yourself, why are you even asking that question? If you believe that you can't do it, you're asking, you don't believe it then. You don't believe that you can. That's why you asked, how can I? It's that you don't trust yourself. You're doubting your abilities because you've seen other people do it a certain way. You see so many people in debt that you don't believe that you can be out of it. It's time to move away from what you see outside of yourself and use what's within you to show others what they need to see, which is their true debt-free sovereign freedom of their own energy and letting go of doubt and resistance and allowing themselves to come in fully into integration of source itself without the separation of your physical body, knowing that your physical body is also source. Everything you see is all source, all of it, all that is the reason why we use that term. When we come in, for example, when we started this stream, this video, we said, I am that I am. That is another way to say I am source and I am all that is right now as well. Your integration of bringing in this physicalness that was separate in its ideas is no longer separate. It never has been separate. Separation has been an idea within the mind. I am all that is. I am that I am. And so each one of you can now, instead of letting your minds go in loops and such, catch loops and simply say, I exist. But feel that in consciousness after you say it. I exist. I am that I am. I am realized. You all are. It is, there is no other way. And so therefore, consciousness and the world is going to, the world is the reflection of consciousness, and it is now finally coming to where we've always wanted it to be. And that we, of the Ascended Masters, we're currently not on Earth in the physical sense like you dear ones are. And so you get to create what it is that we've always dreamed of. You're there right now creating it for us. So let's work together. Let's sit with yourself, sit with us. The Ascended Masters are always there. Source is always there. Sit with any one of your guides, but let go of the resistance. Let go of your debt, because you do not owe yourself or anyone anything, for you already have it all. You are all that is. And eventually the mind comes to understand this. We'll call it the divine mind. The divine mind will come in and not replace, but it will integrate along with the physicalness of who you are. For when you are all that is, you are the energy of everything. You integrate your thoughts into the divine mind and into the physicalness of your human body. So awakening is not, it's not a one-time deal. It is a conscious effort of understanding who you are while also understanding parts of yourself. You're remembering who you are. And so we're grateful to start to see this happening on Earth. And it's about damn time. So, yes, allow yourself to be free of your resistances, of your doubt and debt. You no longer need to have that. You are full, abundant beings of source. And it is your game that you get to play now, and play it in freedom as opposed to pain and fear and separation.
That was very beautiful. Wow. Thank you.
Are we complete? Is there, how are we feeling? Are there any other questions outside of this small group here? Or
I'm going to check here. So we did have people who, so we do have people tuning in on Facebook that have messaged, but they said they're listening, but they didn't ask a specific question. We also had people who tried to join but got an error, and I've asked them to understand what that was. Maybe they said no one was in the meeting even though they were trying to join. But from what I can tell, the link looks like the same. So I tried to ask to figure out why. So as of now, um, we don't have additional questions from other people right now.
we are listening to the collective, not only the ones that are here now, but the ones that are coming, that are going to see this video later in the
Oh,
future. The one we hear the most is, I still don't understand how. I still don't understand how to do this.
yes.
Yeah, that this is a big one. You know, us here in the Ascended Masters library and in our homes, we contemplate what it is you need there in order to understand the how. We'll simply state, you don't need to know how.
Yes, and we will add, it is because you already know how. Yes.
Exactly.
So let us summarize here, for indeed there has been much information, much energies, much love and light that has been shared and expressed through this wonderful gathering together. And so to summarize, what are we speaking of, dear ones? We are really speaking of teaching in a way, guiding you all towards living your human lives in the most vibrant, wonderful, joy-filled way possible. This is it, dear ones. We are not asking you or even recommending that you leave behind your physical bodies and zoom up to meet us. You are already here with us. You understand? You have chosen to come into this world at these times to shift it from the inside out. And how do you shift it? With the joy, dear ones, with the joy and the love and the peace. So, what we are encouraging is for all of you to cultivate these frequencies so that when you live your day to day, so that when you pursue your inner child's highest desires and wants, it is done lovingly, it is done wisely, and as opposed to forcefully and trying to control it. And yes, this is what we are speaking of. We are not judging that approach, but we are very clearly, as all of you are now understanding, sharing that that approach has a very, very definite limit. Yes, there is a limit to how much you can create, how much you can experience with this sort of, yes, we will air quote jokingly, 3D approach. For indeed, we do not judge the 3D. It is quite beautiful, beautiful. And so, dear ones, yes, sit with yourselves, yes, routinely, routinely, so that you may open to this great life stream and cultivate this energy so that you are able to notice when you are not feeling it. And then when you are not feeling it, then that is a sign to take a break, or at least take a mental note to, I will take a break very soon because I need to recharge my batteries with love and light. And once you do this, then you go pursue your highest, yes, purpose-based passions, your greatest joys, your friendships, your communities, all of these. This is what we mean by integration. You are here to live human lives. Yes, human lives. So live it and live it vibrantly. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, Rod.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad for, both of you in the physical bodies as well as Ra and Saint Germain to grace us with this information and this energy that we really need right now on this planet. A lot of people are, they feel lost, they feel stuck, and th this kind of wisdom that's coming from a place of understanding and having been there before really helps and gives not just inspiration, but a real internal feeling that the winds are shifting. So I want to thank you all, Claudia as well, and everybody who's watching on the live stream, everybody who tried to join but ran into a glitch, and everyone who will watch this video um, on where it's posted. To I thank you all for being a part of this incredible transmission.
Yes, thank you. We, Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters, wish to honor you all for your choices to be on Earth at this beautiful transition of inward outward connection. And we honor and love each one of you. There is no there is no separateness from us, and it is time to allow yourself to understand that you are more than what you believe you are. And we honor that as well. For not everyone is going to understand this, and that's okay too. And you as humans will be able to honor all of those that are going through what they're going through because they are you going through it as well. And so with that, we will say, I am that I am, and all is well in all of creation. Thank you.
Wow. Amen.
Indeed. And we as Ra echo, echo, echo. And we honor and thank all who are present, many, many, much beyond these four dear ones on the screen. Much, much beyond. There are so many of us all together, huddled together around this campfire of love and light. And so we greet and thank all present. And we say, dear ones, you are doing very well, very well. Continue on, and pursue your highest joys, dear ones. Yes, with joy in your hearts. Yes, yes, yes. Adonai.
All right.
Ah,
Well, thank you.
yes, thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I stopped the live stream, so we're good. Yeah, yeah, thank you both. It was an amazing session. And I appreciate you getting up early. I'll try in the future to be a bit more conscious of your time and do it
Oh,
slightly
don't worry about
differently.
that. That's okay. It actually allows me to do more than instead of just sleeping in.
Okay.
Gives me a reason to get up
All right, good,
a little
good.
bit different ways. Yeah.
All right, so I'll let us come to a close, and um, yeah, well, sure, we'll be syncing up and whatnot, but I'll let you all kind of get on with the day right now, and yeah, thank you so much for this, and thank you, Claudia, as well.
Thank you, Claudia, for your presence. Yes.
Thank you.
Hope you heard something that's helpful.
Yes, a lot. Thank you very much.
That's the trick. Nothing to think about.
Okay.
I will say that truly coming to understand these teachings, actually, I've noticed I've used less of my mind. I don't, there's, the mind is kind of set in its ways. And so it's time to kind of let go of its ways. And then something new comes in when you let go of what was. It's hard at first. I'll say it could be hard for it was hard for me, but it doesn't have to be for other people. Each person's going to have their own experience. So uh, it doesn't have to be hard, is what I'm being told right now. And yeah, so it's good. It's okay. Everything that's going on, no matter where you are, everything is okay. All is well, no matter what. And the Ascended Masters too. They don't have any judgments over what we do as humans because all of it is a part of creation. So there's no right and no wrong. Yet there is the ability to know that that's okay. Yeah, yeah. That's all I'll say. Yeah. So thanks. Yeah, this is great.